Welcome back, guys. It's Docken with Team Blackout Broadcasting. We have our second installment of our Pro Boss Strats Guide. This week's boss is Magmadar. He's located in Molten Core. He's the second boss that most raids go for. Fun fact, he's also the favored corehound pet of Ragnaros himself. Magmadar has about 826,000 health. He has several attacks in addition to his regular auto attacks. First of those being the Magma Spit. It deals 93 to 107 fire damage and an additional 75 damage every 3 seconds for 30 seconds. This ability stacks up to 3 times and is applied to the tank. He also has Lava Breath, which inflicts 1157 to 1343 fire damage to enemies in front of the caster, aka stay away from the front of this guy. It's no fun if you're up there. Again, this is a fire-based skill, and it can hit up to 35 yards away. He also has a panic effect, which is actually an AoE fear, not a panic effect. It fears nearby enemies, causing them to flee for 8 seconds. It is a magic-based effect, and it is a School of Shadow. This affects targets up to 30 yards around the boss. This ability is avoidable by healers who max range the tank and or other members who are going to need healing. As well, if you have improved range on your DPS skills, you can avoid this fear. Hunters are going to want to make sure they stay out of this range, so that they're able to tranquilizing shot Magmadar when he frenzies. He has an ability called Lava Bomb that throws a lava bomb at an enemy, creating a fire that inflicts 3,200 damage over 8 seconds. This fire stays on the ground, so you want to move out of it. Again, it is a fire-based skill. It has a range of up to 100 yards and a radius of 5 yards once it's landed on the ground. Side note, you want to make sure you're not standing directly next to any of these fire spots that are laying on the ground, especially if you're in the fear range, so that way you don't get feared into them over that 8-second window when it goes off. In addition to that, he's got a periodic frenzy effect that increases his attack speed by 150%. When this happens, he also increases in size. It's a very good visual indicator to the hunters that the frenzy is in effect. You want to make sure you have a tranquilizing shot to stop this ability. It's highly recommended that you have at least 2 hunters. You can do the fight with 1 hunter. However, if that hunter misses his tranquilizing shot, he's going to be frenzied until it comes off a cooldown, which again is a 100% drop rate from the previous boss, Lucifron. Really, the only consumable you would want to consider bringing other than your regular raid consumables would be a greater fire protection potion. That's simply just to mitigate any of the fire damage you may succumb to during the fight, whether it be a direct hit or whether it be being feared into one of the fire spots from the lava bombs on the ground. Here's an overhead view of Magmadar's chamber, and you'll be able to see this a little more clearly in the video, but the large red circle is where you would want to tank him after you pull him. The black circle just to the right of that would be where the main tank would want to be. And then as you see, there's kind of a trailing ellipses there and an arrow in black, and what that would be is a backward path of travel that the main tank can use to move the boss as he drops lava bombs on the floor where the melee would be standing, so that they can continue DPS. So you move them away from the fire, that way they're not in contention with those spots, and when they get feared, they're going to be further away, so there's less chance that they're going to get feared through those spots. If you look where the blue marker is, and there's a ellipses to the left of that and an arrow indicating a leftward movement, that's where the ranged DPS and healers want to be standing, so that they can be maximum range from the boss on the initial pull, and then if you were to shift leftward as the tank moves along that sidewall there, you can maintain your maximum distance from the tank, so that way you're still able to heal him, still able to DPS the boss, and not catching that AoE fear effect. Here we are in Magmadar's chamber. If you watch on the approach, I position him as indicated on the previous diagram, where we are equidistant from the ranged DPS and the healers, so that they can max range the boss and the AoE fear effect if they're able to, as well to continue healing through the fight. If you notice on the frenzy effect, he will increase in size, which also increases his attack speed by 150%. Now if you notice he periodically turns around and faces other directions in the raid, it's because he's spitting out fireballs at them. You want to move out of those and stay away from them as they're laying on the ground. Here comes another panic effect, and I'll activate my Berserker Stance macro, which switches me to Berserker Stance, activates Berserker Rage, and then switches back to Defensive Stance. Again, as I'm moving him away, that's just to keep the melee away from the fireballs that are laying on the ground. As you see, I spiked there in damage. The other tank taunted him off of me because he is a tauntable boss to try to save me. And then taunted it right back and moved the position accordingly. And there you have it, folks.